If crossovers and SUVs are replacing hatchbacks as the small family car of choice, then go faster ones are inevitable. This was the first one to land in 2016. It's the Audi SQ2, and it is typical Audi with its four-wheel drive performance, understated styling, and a little bit of class. And then you've got the Hyundai Kona, which is a bit more recent. It's got in-your-face styling and boy racer energy. And then here we've got the Puma ST, which looks a little bit weird, but it's the cheapest here and it's based on the Fiesta ST, so it should be pretty darn good. Over the next few minutes, we're going to find out which is the best fast small SUV. Is it the gadget boy Hyundai Kona? It gets adaptive suspension, a limited slip differential, a host of driving modes and settings with daft names such as N-Grin Shift. Meanwhile, the sober-suited Audi comes equipped with serious firepower, all-wheel drive traction, and one of the best built and designed cabins in this sort of car. And what about the Puma? It might be slower and take the bargain basement approach in price terms, but it's still got a smart-looking interior with plenty of equipment, and in the case of this performance pack model, a limited slip differential to help ensure the razor-sharp handling we expect from fast Fords. And before we continue, the eagle-eyed among you may have noticed a small piece of trim missing from the Audi's nose, a victim of the Storm Eunice winds. It hasn't affected the car's performance in any way though, so we are going to continue with the test. But before that, please like and subscribe and click the bell icon on so that you catch all of our latest videos. Click here to subscribe, click here now. Inside, the Audi majors on sleek design and good build quality. The Kona is all about the gizmos and gadgets. Meanwhile, the Puma has great seats, a lovely feeling steering wheel and a spot-on driving position. Now, this interior makes us a bit sad, not because it's bad, but because it's brilliant. See, this is quite an old car now, and it was designed back when Audi was making more simple, elegant interiors. Audi's interiors now are all multiple touchscreens and angular shapes. They're still very well built, but they're a bit busy. This is different. It still features everything you'd want, including a digital driver's display, Apple CarPlay and built-in sat-nav. Meanwhile, the slim central screen is controlled via a rotary dial that's initially a little tricky to get used to, but ultimately much more usable than most touchscreen systems. The Kona is somewhat more fussy inside and the build quality isn't on par with the Audis, but the driving position is good with electrically adjustable seats. Those seats are also heated and ventilated, plus there's a heated steering wheel, a digital instruments and a smartly designed Perspex heads-up display. All standard. In fact, everything inside the Kona is standard fit. The only optional choice you have is the paint, and this red is the only colour that won't cost you anything extra. This Puma is a little less flash than the Kona and a lot less flash than the SQ2, but it's got fantastic seats and an infotainment system that is really easy to use. Plus, it's got a digital instrument display, a 10-speaker sound system and cruise control. Add in the £600 driver assistance pack and you get blind spot assist and a rear view camera. Basically, you've got almost as many toys as in the Hyundai, but for £3,000 less. Your rear seat passengers, meanwhile, will be happiest in the back of the Puma. It's got the most leg and headroom, and the part fabric, part faux leather seats provide reasonable lateral support. The Audi SQ2 is much tighter on space, and the flattish bench provides little support, but at least the quality is impressive, especially with the optional fine Napa leather on our test car. The Kona is a little less cramped than the Audi, but still not especially inspiring. In terms of the boots, the Puma is a winner again with 456 litres of space, partly thanks to the useful but stupidly named Mega Box under the boot floor. The Kona trails with just 361 litres of space, and the Audi will only provide you with 355 litres of luggage capacity. Of all three cars, it's probably the SQ2 that's the most sensible when out on the road. The ride is firm but well damped, and it's probably the most comfortable as well. And it's the most planted at motorway speeds. You could easily see yourself blasting along with confidence on a de-restricted German autobahn. There's very little body lean and there's plenty of grip thanks to four-wheel drive, but it's not the most involving experience. Still, the Audi SQ2's party trick is power. Set the exhaust to dynamic, the gearbox to manual or sport, and then things get really exciting. 0 to 60 is 4.9 seconds, and it's limited to a top speed of 155 miles per hour. And you know what? It feels faster than 4.9 seconds to 60. This thing really flies. If you drive a little more carefully, the Audi will give you reasonable fuel economy in return. Officially, you should see an average of 34 miles per gallon, which isn't bad for this sort of car, but it will dip to the mid-20s if you start to make use of all that get up and go. The problem with the SQ2 is that it's a little too grown up for its own good. If you want a fast Audi that's good on the motorway, you want to go for an S3 hatchback, because that is more spacious, more powerful, more stable, and cheaper. In fact, the Audi's a bit like the school kid who's growing up too fast. These sorts of small, fast SUVs ought to be a hoot to drive, and unless you're doing warp speed, the Audi is a little dull. That's not the case with the Hyundai. With 276 brake horsepower, it's not as powerful as the SQ2, but it is a whole lot more exciting. And with a 0 to 62 time of 5.5 seconds and a top speed of 149 miles per hour, it's not slow either. The steering is hyper-responsive, and there are various settings to sharpen up the steering and throttle: the traction control, the limited slip differential, and the gear shift, plus adjustable suspension. There's also this, the NGS button. Press that, and the gearbox shifts into the lowest gear possible for 20 seconds for maximum acceleration. It's a bit like a push-to-pass button. It sounds a bit gimmicky, but it's actually really good fun. And then, when the gearbox is in manual mode, if you push it forwards, it changes down, and then when you pull it back, it changes up, which is how racing cars do it, which means it's the right way. Unfortunately, some of the excitement you will experience in this car probably wasn't part of Hyundai's plans, because despite the differential and traction control doing their best, it really has much more power than the chassis can comfortably cope with over anything other than a dry, smooth road. That said, dial everything down and the Hyundai Kona can be a swift, comfortable cruiser. But then the Audi plays that role better and beats the Hyundai's 33.2 miles per gallon fuel economy figure too. Trouble is, though, that the Kona doesn't want to be all sensible. It wants to mess around. It goads you, and when you give in to temptation and go for it, everything gets a bit ragged. Ragged is not how I would describe this Ford. It might be a bit googly-eyed, and this green paint might not do it any favours, but it handles beautifully. Head for your favourite country road, and all the Kermit the Frog jokes go right out the window. If you've ever been lucky enough to drive or own a Fiesta ST, then you'll know how good small, fast Fords can be, and the Puma doesn't disappoint. The Puma ST shares so much with the Fiesta ST that we perhaps shouldn't be so surprised at how good it is. The steering is pin sharp without being too reactive, the 6-speed manual gearbox is slick and precise, and the suspension controls body lean without feeling too firm. Okay, so it's not as fast as the other two, and it's carrying an extra 100 kilograms of weight over the Fiesta S2, which blunts its performance. But the 1.5-litre 3-cylinder engine sounds really eager, and it pulls reasonably well through the rev range. Stats-wise, the car is behind. It does 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds, and its top speed is 137 miles per hour. But on most roads, it will definitely be able to keep up with other cars in this test, and you'll have more fun while doing so. The Ford kind of nails the boring bits of driving too, with the best official fuel economy here of 41.5 miles per gallon. You probably won't quite manage that in real life, but we reckon you'll see 36 or 37 miles per gallon on a daily basis. There's an easy winner with this test, so I won't beat around the bush. It is the Ford Puma ST. Okay, it's the slowest, but it's way more fun to drive than both the Kona and the SQ2. So the Audi, it has a lot of performance, it's fast and a true premium feel, but it's just not that entertaining. And while the Kona's gadgets are fun, it can feel a bit wayward to drive. In the end, we think the cheapest car here is also the best, which is a great thing to be able to say, but all three cars definitely have their talents. So which one's your favourite? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel. Oh, and when you're searching for your next car, remember to visit cargurus.co.uk, where you'll find great deals from top-rated dealers.